Welcome to the Apply Pressure Podcast with yours truly, Transformer Chris. Here, we dig deep and go beyond the surface, uncover what's hidden, talk straight, no fluff, share secrets, give advice, and keep it all the way real regarding life. Listen, sis, I know you be busy doing what you do, but child boo, I really need to talk to you. Three of the most highly disputed problems in marriages are money, sex, and commitment. All three of these things have the common ability to make or break a relationship. The differences in how they are viewed, prioritized, and managed differs with each person and often causes wires to cross within marriages when there's no compromise. And that word compromise is most likely to be shunned when it's not mutual, meaning that only one party is a giver. In every marriage, each spouse's main objective should be on how to serve the other person. If both spouses could agree on this, then neither would ever be in lack. For as long as I can recall, the idea of servitude had been frowned upon because of the mere idea of it having an association with meaning less than or working for, subject to, or powerless. This thought process has corrupted the desire for us to cater to one another, which in a marriage could become problematic because it presents conflict to the demonstration of love and care, of honor, respect, and submission. Today marks 13 years that me and my husband have been living together happily married. It's our anniversary. And what more fitting of a time than this to have the honor of having him join me on this platform. We decided to talk about three of the most highly disputed topics that marriages face that have a high success rate in tearing them apart. We believe that when you're properly equipped to stare the enemy in the face with boldness, confidence, proper guidance, and the right weapons to win the fight against you, it's no longer a threat at that point because you make it a fixed battle. The three topics that we're going to touch on today is money, sex, and commitment. So, topic number one, husband. Tell me, what do you think the problem is regarding money within marriages, and how do we fix it?
Well, one of the biggest things I think presents as a problem for early marriages with money is either the lack of it or the trust of it. The lack of it, meaning we got to work for it, so that work turns into neglect. And if we're neglecting each other and we're focused on the money, then we're not seeing eye to eye. Mm-hmm. So it becomes a problem in itself, but both parties are trying to work to gain things or to supply a need for the household, but it's creating a bigger problem in the future, which is the neglect part. And when I said trust, there's a lot of things with trust when you're just starting a marriage that you have to adapt to. Two people, two different lifestyles have to come together and come up with a collaborative idea of what our finances should look like. Meaning if one person is a saver, one is a spender, or, just sharing it in total, how do we do a joint bank account, or should we do individual bank accounts? Should we, go Dutch on everything? Creating one of those ideas that, what works for us would definitely benefit each household. Everybody isn't cookie cut. Everybody has a technique that works for them. And ideally, you would want to find a system that works for you. And that's two things that I think that can cover under, the problem with money in a household. But the solution, I think, is balance. Having that communication to balance everything. You have to work, but you need to spend time with your family. Mm-hmm. You have to trust your spouse because you plan on being with them for the rest of your life. So you don't got to tuck away money or hide money, but you make it available and you have that understanding. This money is designated for this. Let's plan together on saving this, or let's build towards, having this. Right. Once you get that down pat, I think that would be the solution of having that balanced work life, what we're going to do with our money, using it as a tool, not a necessity, and make that the foundation of how you move forward in finances for marriage.
Right. That's right. We're a team. So for me, I think that money is often found to be an issue whenever it's absent, when it's mismanaged, when it's glorified or idolized, and also when it's prioritized above everything else. The lack of money brings about hardship in a household, and that hardship will eventually promote things like stress, which then leads to a person being angry, or it leads to panic. Sometimes it even leads to fear. And that consequently results in turmoil within the marriage. I believe there should be a mutual agreed upon approach in regards to the financial functionality of each individual household. In most cases, there will be one party that's stronger, smarter, more capable, more reliable, a better steward, or an overall better manager of financial literature, of investment dealings, of credit strategies, and things of that sort. So whenever that's the case, one of the things that should never be is it should never be frowned upon. You should embrace that wisdom in such a delicate area like finance. And you talked about trust. I agree. Trust it with the betterment of your financial plan as a unit. Most marriages struggle with this because of the lack of trust with someone else handling your money. So they would rather squander it in their own hands rather than entrust it in the hands of another person. And this is actually a polluted mindset that will keep you in poverty. And that poverty mindset will make you glorify the little that you have out of fear of not getting more. As if the money that you have was given and not earned. If the money that comes into your household, think about it. If the money that comes is earned, then it's not an undeserved gift that you have or that you're getting. It's your just due. And if you make the kind of mistake of prioritizing it above God and your family, then you make the one who equips you to get it, which is God, and the one that you do it all for, which is your spouse, you make them in competition with it. And that's what causes discord and separation. So for me, I think that, why would you cause that kind of discord and separation with the two things that's supposed to be the things that bring you happiness?
That's fair.
Or the two people, I should say.
I agree. Look like you're cheating off my notes, but I'm gonna leave it at that. But
great minds just think alike.
I agree.
All right, so now moving on to another hot topic. We're gonna talk about sex. So come on, babe, tell me, what's the problem and how do we fix it?
The problem with sex in marriage is
Really?
not enough of it. Yeah.
Oh,
not enough
shots.
of it. Yeah. I say that with the understanding that, men are men, women are women, but being on the same page sometimes is the problem. We could talk about a number of things.
Well, not being on the same page.
I'm sorry?
Not being on the same page is the problem.
Not being on the same page is the problem. And that's where, the big issue is not being on the same page. I want more, you want less. You're not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. We're not on the same page. I think collectively we need to figure it out. If we go back to communication, which I think it can fix all three of these problems, but nonetheless, we'll get to that. Communicating with your spouse and understanding where they at and really making sure that both parties are satisfied, it helps both, the man and the woman. Also, understanding. You need that understanding. I tell people that you have to be able to give your spouse what they want and what they need. It's almost like a gift that you're trying to give them. I always use the analogy, hey, if I'm gifting you something, I would rather I gift you something that you want and going to use versus getting something that you can't use or don't want at all. And you're probably going to re-gift it on somebody's birthday or Christmas. So with that analogy, I'd rather ask you what you want, get a better understanding of where you at, and give you exactly what you want. So I can see the joy in what you receive and you utilizing what I give you.
Makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense. So with that same mindset, I think you need to take that in the bedroom and understand your spouse. Get that better understanding so y'all both can be on the same page. Yeah. Last thing I'm gonna say, just so I don't, be too long, but is to keep the interest.
Right.
Keep that flair. It's one thing, with years going on and kids and work and, everything else that life is going to throw at you. You definitely got to keep that flair. I'm a big firm believer of date nights. I'm a big believer on surprising your spouse. I'm a big believer in, making them happy. Oh snap! Let's finish this, and we can talk about that. But right now, I'm a big believer in showing support so you can get support. You see what I'm saying? So, not only in bedroom, just, giving just to receive, but in life, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, you keep that flare up, you keep that pizzazz. I mean, you don't lose that swag as you get older. Yeah, I mean, you keep it going.
Right.
All the way through. You know what I mean? That's out in the street, that's out in the work, that's out in church, that's out when you're going out in general. You want to make sure that you look good, you do your best. And you want to give your partner that same energy. You ain't trying to go to bed in a moo-moo every night. You know what I'm saying?
What you say? Keep that same energy.
Yeah, keep that same energy that you out there. You know what I mean? Putting on makeup and smelling good when you hitting the door to go out. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me the the uncut version. You know what I'm saying? Moo-moos and face masks. I mean, give me the whole shebang. I need everything. You know what I'm saying? I need those nights where you go ahead and put it on. I need the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Razzle dazzle. Keep it up. But I think those three things have definitely help the marriage in growing, identifying the issue and growing. Communication though is key, and getting that understanding in that area. Making sure y'all both on the same page definitely will help.
Mm-hmm. That's all good stuff. Good stuff. So I hope y'all taking notes. I hope y'all writing this down. But on that same topic, I'm about to drop the mic for us females. But no, I honestly think that it is extremely important to remember that sex is initiated by desire. And the problem that many couples face when they get married is, for women, sex goes very quickly from being a hobby to becoming a job. And how many people do you know that love to work? You may find some who love the money so they don't mind working as much, but very seldom where you find someone that loves to work. When it's a hobby, it's something that you want to do. But when it's a job, it's something that you have to do. And what happens with most married women is naturally their mind begins to shy away from it, which causes their body to unwillingly reject it. At that point, it becomes more of like a chemical imbalance than a willingness. Have you ever heard a woman complain of pain and total lack of desire in terms of how, their body responds to their spouse? Well, outside of just, medical issues that they may have, what I'm talking about now is typically why that kind of thing happens. It's not that they just flat out don't want to please their spouse, but it's that their body refuses to comply with their mind, and it causes irregularities in an area that is supposed to react normally. So one of the best suggestions that I could give as to how to address this type of issue is, I think that you should pregame. Meaning that the warm-up is just as important as the live event. Now, while dating, this issue almost never exists because it's a premeditated score. There's a lot more affection, seducing, and strategic effort going into what you do. And it's geared towards getting the other person to respond in the way that you want them to. This sort of calculated planning goes out of the door once a lot of people get married because it's viewed as more of an obligation rather than a ceremony between two people that love each other. So I believe that a lot of that has to do with the decline of sex that happens when people get married. All right, so we're going to keep it moving. Now on to our last topic that's on the list is commitment. So what you got for me, babe? Tell me, what's the common problem and how do we fix it?
I think we should switch it up on this last one. I'll allow you to go first, and I'll close.
All right, I'm going to be straight up with y'all, and the fact is this. The failure of commitment is, to me, the dissolution of the marriage. Marriage is an agreed union between two people in a personal relationship. And the commitment that they share with one another, that's the binding factor that solidifies the arrangement. So whenever the agreement is broken, it then nullifies the sanction. What so many people don't understand is the fact that marriage is a sacred act that involves God also. So when the secret acts of things like infidelity are committed, although it's often hidden from the spouse, so people think they get away with it, it's not hidden from God. And those kind of spiritual acts of treason never go unpunished. So the ripple effect that so many marriages suffer in agony from is a direct result of the violation of commitment regarding the oath that they took before God. And that oath was to honor and to obey the sanctity of holy matrimony. And because people today are so oblivious to the spiritual aspect of life, they suffer long and they suffer to no avail. I believe that the only way to fix a problem as big as this one is for both parties to go back and recommit to the merits of which marriage was originally formed. That's what I believe.
Commitment, defined is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity.
Oh, you won't go dictionary on me like that? Come on.
So, if I was to take this definition and apply it to a marriage, the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity, I have to be interested in an activity to be dedicated to it. I have to be for it. I have to be invested to it, and I have to have a passion for it if that's something I'm going to dedicate my time to.
Right.
Those are the key things you need in order to keep that commitment to your marriage. If you continue to have that flair and you continue to have that balance, you have that interest. You'll be for them, meaning that you're on their side and you have the best interest at heart.
You on my side?
You're all the time, baby.
You for me?
You already know. Ooh. Cut it out.
Hello. Hello.
You know, the other part to that is, you know, you'll be invested in them, you know, and you'll have that passion for them. So you keeping these things.
Invested. Show me your wallet.
Oh, snap.
No,
we going there? I mean, I do finance some things, but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? You are committed to that person completely. Right. Keeping those values that you said, you know, on your wedding day and forward, applying that to your daily deeds, you know, making sure that you have that in the forefront of your mind will definitely keep you focused when life throws, you know, obstacles in your direction. Mm-hmm. You know, if you constantly remember that you're deeply invested in this, you have a passion and a love for your wife, you're for her, you know, you have an interest in her, you know what I'm saying? When those obstacles come your direction, you're able to block them. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're able to maneuver around them, make sure that you make the right choice, because those are the things that's in your forefront. You keep those in your mind all the time, no matter what's coming your direction. It'll make the choices the easiest choices. You understand what I'm saying? If we do those things, that would keep somebody committed and on track when it comes down to longevity in a marriage.
Mm-hmm. Longevity.
13 years.
13 years?
13 years.
Come on, somebody.
All right.
We going for the win?
We're going for the win. Team M, all day.
Team M. Y'all heard it. Listen, man, this was some good stuff, like powerful stuff. I hope y'all took notes. So there you have it, guys. Because I Love You is a marriage counseling venture that God has placed on our hearts to, you know, just to start helping couples win by building strong foundations to make marriages that last. Listen, if y'all feeling it, let us know. Okay, ladies, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you stay caught up and don't miss out on what's next. If you're enjoying this atmosphere, be sure to go and leave your girl a review. That way this platform can continue to evolve and build a strong network of empowered women of purpose. Until next time, hop over to my website. Make sure you subscribe and capture all the latest products and free giveaways by visiting www.crystalmetellus.com. Also, connect with me on social media @crystalmetellus. Talk to you later, sis.